Hello again. So let's see another option to create a new virtual machine. So we chose this time install disk image file ISO. So we chose the ISO, we chose this option, then we click browser, we go to the folder with the ISO image, we chose for example the VMware hypervisor or the ESXi installation. We click open, so automatically detects the information about this ISO image. This is VMware ESXi 6.5 and later detected. I click next, then he give you a name, for example VMware ESXi 6.5 and later. Of course we can customize it, for example simply give it ESXi 1. If you remember from the beginner of creating my lab, I tell you that I will install a virtual machine with the ESXi1, another one with the ESXi number 2, etc. So you simply give it a name that you want, then click next. Then he automatically chose 14 gigabytes. But of course, no, you need to choose the right size about your hard drive. Of course, you can upgrade the hard drive later, but when you choose the right one at the beginner, you don't lose time to back and edit the size of the disk every time. So when you install the ESXi inside a virtual machine, that ESXi will going to use it to create a virtual machine inside that ESXi. So in your lab, how much virtual machine you will going to create inside an ESXi host? If you want to create 5, 10, 20 virtual machine, you need to know how much size they will use. For example, 10 virtual machine inside an ESXi. Every virtual machine will have an operation system. Every operation system will take about 3 to 5 gigabytes of hard drive. That means 5 gigabyte multiple to 10, that means a 15 gigabyte. You will need at least a 15 gigabyte. So for that, you need to upgrade or to change the size of the disk to 15 gigabytes, or for example 55. You always need to have some free space. If for example you were going to create a 20 machine, you will need at least 100 gigabytes. So it is recommended to give it 120 or 130, etc. So you the one to choose which size will work for this virtual machine. So let's choose 100 gigabyte like that. Then next, then he automatically give it the necessary hardware. If we click on customize the hardware, you see that he give it 4 gigabytes. I tell you in the beginner that the requirement of installing an ESXi is 4 gigabytes. Again, it's in relation about you. As you will see here, the guest operation recommended minimum is 4 gigabytes. That means if you chose less than 4 gigabytes, the installation will won't complete. You need to choose at least 4 gigabytes. The recommended memory is 4 gigabytes. Then the maximum recommended memory is 13 gigabytes. This maximum is in relation about your RAM. I have a 16 gigabyte of RAM, so automatically recommended the maximum is 13.4 gigabyte. That means if you have, for example, a 32 gigabyte of RAM in your host, you will see that the maximum recommended is about 30 or about 29 gigabyte. So I always chose the recommended because when I need more of RAM, I simply back to the setting and I will add a little in the RAM like that. Then we have the CPU. It automatically chose 2. If we chose 1, the installation won't complete. Then you chose 2. And here, if you remember, this option was always disabled, but now it's enabled. Automatically check the virtualize Intel VT and AMD. If you going to install a Windows 10 or a Windows Server inside a virtual machine, and then you will going to install another virtual software, for example, Microsoft's virtual PC or a Hyper-V or VM workstation inside this virtual machine, you need to activate the virtualization inside this virtual machine. But now, when we chose to install the ESXi operation system is created for creating virtual machine. That means it is necessary to use the virtual until VT, so he automatically enables. If you disable this one and install the ESXi, and then when you start create a virtual machine inside this ESXi, you will have a problem that this virtual machine can't work because the until virtualization is disabled inside the host. So he automatically check this one to use it without any problem. Then this is the ISO image that we check. It automatically check it right here. Then he use do not, etc. So we click close. Then we click finish. But you see here that power on this virtual machine after creation. That means when I click finish, this virtual machine will power it on automatically. So we click finish to see the new virtual machine powered on. And as you will see here, the installation starts successfully. To choose to boot from the ISO image and start the installation, or to boot from the local disk. So we click start and the installation will start. The installation process, you can find it in my other file trainer course about VMware 6.5 course, and how to complete the installation, and how to configure the ESXi, then how to connect to this ESXi server, then how to manage that server, that ESXi server, how to create virtual machine inside the server, how to clone, how to template, etc. All the other future of VMware, you can learn it from my other course. Just enroll it and enjoy watching the course. So see you in the next video.